You remember these? Black medallion, red, black, and green.
Fight the power.
Fight the power. For those of us who know, they know, right? Back in the day, the 80s, early 90s, we want to talk a little bit about this, black people, the diaspora, coming to Africa, and see if what we thought of Africa actually coincides and it matches. But before we do, please don't forget, subscribe, like, share, and hopefully you'll comment. Greetings, peace and blessings. We are the Mohammeds. We are the residential tourist, 85 to Africa. We are living in the after. Welcome. Thank you so very much, as always, for allowing us a little bit of your ear space, coming into your hearts and your minds to share with you our experience as residential tourists currently here in Kigali, Rwanda, sharing with you our experience right here in Kigali, Rwanda. And as always, we try as best we can to keep it 100, as they say. Try to keep it authentic as much as we possibly can. Again, from our experience, okay, wherever we are. But right now, as you know, we are in Kigali, Rwanda. So we want to share something of our experience, okay? And so, as some of you who are viewers, who may be subscribers, not just us, but just in general, when you tune in and you get an opportunity to get to hear from the experiences that people are having here in Rwanda or wherever on the continent, right? And a lot of times, I'll speak for us. A lot of times, those experiences are more physical, tangible experience. Places we've gone, people we've met, events we've been a part of, whatever, all of those particular things there, right? So we wanted to be able to share with you of our experience that may not necessarily be of the like of what I just mentioned. Because there's an experience that you have, or we have, right, that is not very visible, okay? It's not an experience that we can actually take you to and visibly show you of these particular experiences, right? But it's a very crucial component to having an experience of either visiting, more so living on the continent of Africa, for us specifically right here in Kigali, Rwanda. So, the missus is a little quiet. I guess she's waiting for me to dive right on in.
Well, Muhammad woke up this morning.
I woke up this morning. Praise God.
He had something heavy on his spirit that he wanted to talk about. So a lot of this will be what's on his spirit to talk about. I'm showing off my ring. That's why she's doing that.
I thought she was trying to fill me up.
I was. I said, it's
with my muscles.
But yeah, a lot of people when they come, especially the ladies, no, the gentlemen as well,
Mm-hmm.
they say, you know, they were led here. It was on their spirit, and when God tells you to do something, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
They were guided here. We felt the we felt that, you know, Allah was telling us we can go. It's time for us to go. I don't know if the way Rwanda popped up for us, we can't even remember how that happened.
It was very divine orderish.
Yeah, because we weren't looking on East Africa.
Not at all.
Period. Really,
Not at
no.
all.
Excuse me.
Bless
We were heavily considering Tanzania, but outside of that, that was where we were looking. And I think when we started looking in Tanzania, some kind of way Rwanda popped up.
It just popped up.
Yeah, and then once it did, and the things that we were looking for in the other countries, Rwanda was ticking off the boxes. We felt it was a divine connection. Mm-hmm. We were like, okay. And because of how easy it was made for us to come out of nowhere, it was like all we had to do was set it in motion, and Allah took care of everything else.
It's true.
So we knew it was a spiritual direction for us to come. Doesn't necessarily mean when you have that spiritual guidance to do a thing, doesn't mean it has to be forever. But at that moment, this is where he wanted us to go for his purpose.
Right.
And a lot of people that have come and left, or that have that wants to come, they feel that they are led in this direction for a spiritual or some kind of divine intervention, and this is where they want to be. And it very much so, it could be true. It is true.
So and that's absolutely right. So here's the thing, right? So here's the question. So the question is Africa, and I'm speaking specifically for we, the diasporas, and even more specifically those coming from America, right? But it's broad. The question, is Africa the answer? Is it the answer, right? So now what's the broader question, which is a question that can be presented and expressed differently, yet has a similar undertone by many of us, right? And so, as my wife was saying, you know, which speaks to the other side of the experience, right? Having a spiritual experience in the transition process, and coming and being here, not necessarily, if in fact it is a spiritual, I don't know what to say, if it's a spiritual ordeal, that it may not necessarily be, wherever you start, may not necessarily be the ultimate destination. Okay? And so what was put on my spirit, as my wife was saying, was that on the surface, most of us were motivated to come to Africa, I would say, in a way that is very, very similar. You know, one way or another, you know, there was a level of dissatisfaction. And again, on the surface, that dissatisfaction in most cases had to do with the system that we were under, you know, and another part of that could have been some specifics that were occurring at that particular time that was a result of the system that we were, or some of you still are, under, right? So on the surface, we can all like agree that that was a key motivating factor in getting us to say, you know what, I'm getting up out of this piece here. I'm going somewhere else. And whether it's a deliberate, conscious effort, or if it's just something that's, that's stirring in your spirit or in your mind, it's always there for most of us, that wanting to make that actual connection back home, right? So when the thought arises, okay, I'm getting up out of here, then you want to go somewhere where you feel like you're at home, because ultimately that's kind of like why you leave. I don't feel welcome. I don't feel I belong. So I need to be somewhere where I feel welcome, where I feel I have a sense of belonging. I'm going back home, right? Africa. So now with that though, so you have individuals, and this is just from my perception, right? And also just checking myself, and we checking ourselves in being here, wondering, did we make the right? Because you go through that. Did we make the right move?
Weekly, you go through that.
We
weekly.
go through that, So what came to my mind was this: that individuals, even though on the surface, and for the most part, collectively, we probably were motivated by the same reasons, right? But there's an individual component, right, that each of us have to speak to for ourselves as to what is it within me? What is it within us? What is it that really made us, what brought about this dissatisfaction? So the two things that came to my mind was, okay, so if being motivated to come, right, is the motivation, is it strictly coming wanting to replace something that has been existing, the system, we know all of that, I'll just sum it up in that way, or are you coming to enhance what you already have, right? And I believe and think that those are two critical factors in the ultimate experience that you may or you may not have when in fact you come to Africa, or anywhere for that matter, right? So I think that, and maybe you can speak to this possibly too, I think that for us it may have been a little bit of both, but I think primarily it was the latter, meaning more of the enhancement. And I think a lot of that has to do with our school of thought that we subscribe to in our level of training and knowledge base that we have, which we've said many times before, that we know that we are the original people, and that, the earth belongs to us, and we have by right anywhere we can go, anywhere we should choose. And we wanted to act on that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. However, we were affected, like everybody else was, by the system, and we had enough, man. We were like, man, it's got to be something better. It's got to be something better. Why do we subject ourselves or allow ourselves to go through this if we are not going to where we are, meaning at the present time, they're not going to unify on the level of where we can persevere, we can prosper, right? Then, man, let's get up off this pot, man, and let's go and see what else is out there. So we were hit with a little bit of both of those there.
And for me, I got tired of watching us march. We constantly marching and begging colonizers to treat us equally, to see us, to see our value. And it was like every time that I, in the beginning, back in the red, black, and green fight the power days, okay, I understand the marching. I understand it then. It made some significant changes. Mm-hmm. But if we're still going through the same things on a different level that they marched for back then, why are we still marching?
Marchable.
And a wise man told me about a smaller situation. He was like, Don't try to fit in where you're not wanted. Stop. And that carries in my spirit why we kept begging and trying to fit in where we're not wanted.
Right.
Regardless, yeah, we have claims to anywhere we want on this planet, especially in the U.S. We were forced to go there, and they stole us and turned us into, I don't even have the words for it.
Dehumanized.
Yes. So that it would benefit them. So yeah, we definitely put our blood, sweat, and tears in that country, but we keep begging them now, 2023, 22, 21, please stop killing us. Please see us as humans. Please see our sons valuable. Why? Why? So yeah, when you get enough, when you're fed up, you want to seek out something better.
Do.
It doesn't, to me, now I understand, it doesn't necessarily mean Africa.
Right.
It means go where you find your peace. Go where you're able to prosper and you feel that your children can thrive. Go wherever it is that your spirit is calling you to go to find that quiet in your soul. Go there. And for many of us, because of our roots and our DNA and the history, we want to find, where do we come from? Where is our ancestry? Where did our greats come from? And so we come here and we're looking for that connection. And for many, they find it.
Mm-hmm. So, and I'm glad you come to that point, because that leads us right to the meat of what it is that, you know, we want to be able to experience. Share of our experience. And that is, you know, prior to arriving and prior to, this is why we have this here, right? Because it brings to mind of the idea prior to coming, or even having the thought of coming to Africa, the idea that we had and have of what Africa was. What is Africa like? So we grew up in the era, many of you have as well, grew up in that era of, as you know, fight the power, you know, the whole X-Clan, you know, all of that pro black consciousness, right? And it was always leading us back to our roots, you know, Africa. And so all we had was, you know, the idea, even in study, even in books that were written, Ivan Ben Sertima, you know, Ben Yakinen, all of these individuals who were Kemetists and Egyptologists and giving us all of what once was, right? So that's the only knowing that we had of Africa. And from that knowing, this is what we, even if it was subconscious, and in many cases it is what we were expecting on arriving. That type of energy. We know that the great kingdoms and the dynasties were not existing, but the energy that we received from it, we were expecting that. So here we go. We get here, right? And we're still in the, you get here, it's the honeymoon, and then after it, you really begin to see things for what they are. And it's a hurt piece, but it's the reality, is that coming home as the prodigal son, prodigal daughter, the reception is not altogether the same. Now, a lot of that, 99.9% of that, has to do with their lack of knowledge of our experience, right? And the being overshadowed by a false reality, I would say it that way, of where we come from is like America or even the UK or wherever, right? And so this is their perception. This is their lens about how they see many of us, right? So now you are here and you're wanting to have a pure exchange, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge because as I'm attempting to look at you, my African brother, my African sister, as that brother, sister, I'm home. Welcome me, make me feel home, a part of family, right? And because they lack the understanding of our experience, of the sojourn that we've had and what we've lost, and as my wife was saying, how dehumanized we were made, they can't see us for who we are. They can't, they want to, but they can't, right?
Well, remember though, even when we first came here, having some conversations, they were saying they just thought we were black people in America.
That's it.
They didn't know how we got there. They didn't know that we come from, we're all one, that we all come from Africa, that we have African and DNA. They just thought we were black people, just a different type of black people in America.
We black people in America. We got money.
They think everyone that comes from America has money.
We don't have money. Not some of them, but we don't. No, we don't have. Not like that. Not to that degree. No, we're not glammed up like that. That's not us. You know.
And one time, I remember we were trying to share our story with 2 individuals here when we first got here, and we couldn't get maybe 5 minutes into.
Couldn't.
And they were crying hysterical. And I do know hearing our story triggers them from what they've experienced here 28 years ago in Rwanda. But just hearing, you know, for people that went through what they went through here in Rwanda, that was for a very short period of time. You know, hearing, no, we went through 400 years of
everything.
Similar, if not worse, if not 400 years of it plus, and still is going through it. And so we're trying to explain to people here, no, we're not here on holiday. We're not here just because we got money and we just go and chill in a different country. Most of us that come here, in our minds, we're refugees. We're looking for safety. We're looking for peace. We're looking for the quiet to just stop. We're looking for stop.
Yeah.
And they're looking at us like, I think in West Africa, they call it Burundi. In this part of the country, East Africa, they call you Mzungu. And it's not just because your skin. You know, it originally was for white folks. Now it's for...
That's what it means.
Yeah.
Really, literally, it means, you know, white people.
White people.
But foreigner...
Because they didn't know that we're from here, they're thinking we're part of the white people. And we come here just like the white people. And we got the bank like the white people. And so it causes a gap of connecting.
Right.
We cannot, no matter how hard we try. And a lot of times they will put on the front like, yeah, you're the auntie, you're the grandpa. You know, he got many sons.
Why she
here.
aunt and I'm grandpa?
We got many sons here, and I'm the auntie, or but that's the distant terms. That's the politeness, and even pouring into some of the young minds, especially the men here. We're telling them because there's still division even on the continent. The Ugandans see the Rwandans and the Rwandans see the Ugandans differently. And then even the Rwandans see the Burundians differently. And if you literally took the borders down, it's one area.
It's just one
area. But the colonizers came and caused confusion like they always do. So they have them, no, this is you, and you're better than them. And these people, you're better than them. And whoever got resources on their side of the country determines their wealth. which determines their class. And so it's mind-blowing, but they can't even unite. They can't even connect and see the brotherhood and sisterhood between the two because of the whitewashing that happens. Or happened, I don't know. So we're coming from the States thinking, nah, we're going home. We're going into total blackness. All the songs and all the prayers led us to right here. And the sad part is the whitewashing is so thick, even here in Africa, that it still creates a border where we can't even connect now. We cannot connect on that familial basis because they see us as maybe even another tribe.
I may be, but even I mean, to look at it, it's very possible. That's probably how But even with that, it's like, the idea of oneness, right? So we've had to, whether we acted on it or not, to degrees we have, but coming from where we come from and being who we are, we know our circumstances put us in the mind that we have to unify. That is a solution. We're still trying to get it together. So we have this concept of oneness, right? We are, if I'm from New York, and I'm from, and somebody else is from another, but the hoods are the same. You've heard it. All the hoods are the same. All the black, they're all the same. Same thing that's happened in New York is happening in LA to the black man in New York, to the black man in LA. It's all happening the same. So we know that, okay, they see us in a certain way. So we have to see ourselves in a way that is more factual and a lot better for ourselves. So we have this concept of oneness that becomes a viable solution for getting us out of the situation. Not so much here. Not so much in the terms that they know that, yes, we are African in nationality. You understand that? But as a people, me from this country, you from that country, no. Our culture, our language is different. So we different. We not the same, right? So these are some of those experiences. And this is where we are dealing with. These are the experiences that we have that you don't really hear about. And like my wife said, that people have come and you look up, they're gone. It's like, what happened? You just got here. But because, again, if you're looking for a replacement, your level of expectation, you may be disappointed.
You'll be let down.
You'll be let down because you are expecting something. You're trying to get away from something, and you enter into something expecting it to be replacing that which you're getting away from, and it's not fulfilling you. Yep. It's not fulfilling you. And so you're like, I might as well go on back because you are getting away from what you're left, but you're jumping into something that could just be so overwhelming. Right.
You're like, I'd rather deal with
what I'm familiar with.
Shots in the air at nighttime and hoping it didn't hit my house. I'm not on that level. I don't see that yet.
Yeah.
But you got a bite. Yeah. But I think if you don't come with the mindset that I'm going to immerse myself into the community and I'm going to find my circle of from the community. Mm-mm.
Ease yourself in. You got to ease.
You won't. And a lot of us come and we try to stay away from other expats. I didn't come here for that. I've had a conversation with a sister a couple of days ago, and she's like, I didn't come here for that. I don't need that. And I'm like, okay, but you're going to be very lonely.
I heard a brother who is good friends of ours who's an expat, and he said he had, same situation. The brother told him, man, I didn't come here to try to be with with no more black folk, and he was like, well, you with one right now. How you gonna connect? How you gonna maintain your connection? And he had to really rethink that thing. But to my wife's point, is like, you know, all of that is something that
You definitely in your search of where you want to go. You might not have thought about it before. I know I don't think we did too much, but you definitely want to check out and see what's the expat population there.
Yeah, that's
Is there
good.
groups there? Is
Right.
there active um, active community of expats that do things together, that network together,
Exactly.
especially if you're trying to build something, build a business, or just build um, friendships. You want to see if there's other expats there because, to be honest, they're the only ones that's going to get you.
They're gonna that you can relate to,
Hmm.
that you can find when you hit that moment, because you're gonna get it. You're gonna get that moment.
Weekly.
You're gonna feel like you're gonna question. You're gonna have those doubts. You're gonna have it. So you're gonna need someone to plug into that, as my wife say, gets you. I get you. And we're fortunate. We've had, a brother, sister, family that, boy, is so refreshing. But it gives you that, that extra, okay,
Yeah,
we can
that
move
helps you
forward.
to keep pushing. And so you definitely want to know your whys. Why do I want to leave? Why am I going to that place? And you're going to have to live in the whys. Because for me, simple stuff, right? How they drive. And I'm hearing that this is probably the best out of most African countries is the driving here in Rwanda.
I can't see it.
So I'm like, well, I'm leaving Africa because the driving alone in art, the way that we see it, and you didn't know it when you were in the States, but it feels very uncivilized. Very uncivilized. It's very cold, hard, and I'm not the I'm not really an aggressive driver. I'm more of the laid back. My grandma taught me how to drive. So simple things like not accelerating when you see a stop sign doesn't exist here. It doesn't exist.
The stop sign don't even
There's
exist.
the stop sign. What stop sign?
It's like it's right there, lower day.
A four-way. You got four-way traffic. There's a car. Blah blah blah. There's no yielding to whoever got there first or yielding to the right. It is everyone go and see who makes it first. And you can be there trying to look both ways with a car behind you. It's like I don't feel like doing all that, and he just goes, and you're like, what the driving alone will have you lose your religion. And so, knowing that, I didn't think it would bother me as much. We've been to other places and we've seen crazy driving,
When
but
driving though.
the driving, the driving will bring you to tears.
Yes, yes. But
It's
it's like you said, it's those. And hey, listen, this is our experience. If someone else tells it, they may not hit them as hard, but there are other experiences, other things that for us is like, okay, we can deal with that. But these other individuals, like, yo, I cannot deal with this. But
they can't deal with it, and it's like the good thing is for Rwanda, they don't drive fast. It's a slow.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever did 35, 40. I just feel like we haven't, but if we did,
it's, well, I mean,
so it's not fast, so it doesn't feel like you could have a fatal accident, but you definitely can lose something, a limb, a pinky.
no, you can't have a fatal. There's been several.
If you want a moto,
Fatal.
that's different.
Yeah, it's been
Moto,
several. Or pedestrian.
yeah, pedestrians and moto, we've seen some fatal, but not in the cars. I haven't never seen a flipped over car.
Oh no, nothing like that. No.
Not even two cars
Well,
colliding, which
no,
is amazing.
I have seen that. But anyway, we don't want to get all into that. This is we didn't talked about the whole thing.
Yeah,
That
so that the whole peaceful energy that you're looking for, and that spiritual connection, it could be something small like going to the store and the traffic changes everything, and you lose it. You lose it. It might just be for that moment, but you have to keep reminding yourself, okay, why did I leave? Why am I here? Because something as small as that just make you forget everything.
Good thing. But then, and it's so very true. So, but that points back now to the self, as she was saying. It points to you, right? And you have to ask yourself that, and you have to now. It's evolution. It's an evolution that the physical being here is not the destination. This is the whole spiritual experience component of it. Physically being here is not the destination, because it's, we put ourselves in motion, right, towards something that we probably didn't even realize at the time. We just knew that we had to make motion, right? So being here and having these experiences and then questioning certain things brings to the realization that, okay, we still journeying. We're still on the journey. Mm-hmm. We're here, but we're still on the journey. And once you get that understanding, you can balance things a little better. You can realize that, okay, all right, for us, it's like, you know what? Our intent wasn't to just be here and just be done. No, that wasn't our intentions. Our intentions was to come, have an experience, right? And from the experience that we have, let's see what more experience we can have somewhere else. This could be our base, but listen, you know what? We are closer to where our destination potentially may be by being here. But let's keep moving. Let's keep exploring.
Yeah, let's stop wondering. I wonder what it'll be
exactly.
like. And no, just do it. Like, I was going to ask, because someone had asked me a couple weeks ago, will we still promote Africa to the people as a place of, would you? A lot of people come to Rwanda in particular because off of our videos and other YouTubers. And lately we've been getting a little nervous when we hear it, like, okay, because of our experiences, but mostly that's tied into being business owners. But would you still, if someone from the States or whatever, say, bro, do you recommend us to come? What would your response be?
I mean, I would say yes. I would say yes. I would recommend you to come. However, I would, I'll say this term, I would caution, right? And I'm not cautioning to say like there's danger or anything like that, but I would, just like as they ask us about how it is in America to move to America, I encourage, go.
I don't.
I say go, but I caution according to the experience that you potentially may have there if you do go. The same thing. Brother, please, have this experience. The experience is for you. The experience is for you to continue in your evolution, in your development, in your self-discovery. So please come and have the experience. However, going back to what my wife said, ask yourself, why? Why? Your why is going to determine really how you continue in your experience and how you see your experience. So I would do it, but I would tell them, listen, you're on the continent, man, go check out over here. If you can, go over here, check it out. Mm-hmm. Don't just, limit yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I would say come and visit and don't just visit one place. Maybe make a point to visit 2 countries at a time, especially if you're on one side of the continent, visit 2 or 3 countries on that side. And then if you're on the other side, 2 and 3 countries on that side. And research the expat community, wherever you're coming from. Like minds, we just connect. Mm-hmm. And then we've also heard that there's expat communities in different countries that don't even unify, that don't even connect like that. So you still need to find active expat communities that make a point to have that connection, because that's going to be how you're going to really learn your way around that country. It's different. Learning the in and outs, learning how to do business, learning how to do visas, learning how to just go to the doctors, and these shortcuts and these secrets that you won't really know until you know. Africa is a continent, is a place where it's who you know that will get you further. Who you know. So if you got people that's been on the ground for a period of time, they know stuff. They know people. Otherwise, they would have been gone. Because if you don't know people to help you to survive and get around on these streets, it's rough.
It's rough.
It's rough. And so you definitely want to get in and connect. Don't figure, oh, I can do it all by myself. A lot of people do that, and they're on their way back. They do that. You never hear from them, and I'll be like, well, what happened? What did you do? Some people leave. They're lonely. They haven't made friendships. But did you come out? No. Okay. So it's certain things you have to come out of your comfort zone. You have to come out of your comfort zone and figure out how you're going to survive in this new country.
Right.
Because it's very...
It's different.
It's different.
It's different. So
it's very different.
So you have how would I say, the perception, of being black in Africa will catch you, if you're not aware, it will catch you by surprise, and if you don't know, and we've heard it. We've heard people, talk. We've experienced, we experienced it ourselves, but we've heard people talk about it like, man, again, family. They like, for them, it's like, man, everywhere I go, I'm a dollar bill. I'm a dollar bill. And it
When we first came, all his new children every day, Father, I need $10,000, which is $10, to feed my family. Father, I need school fees. I didn't birth you. What? my house is destroyed. Okay, well, what would have happened if you didn't know us?
Right.
I'm getting married. My mother's sick. My grandmother's sick. I need help paying the hospital bill. I need doctor. I'm like, wow.
It's continuous, right?
And it's mind blowing. Like, y'all don't know. You don't even know my last name. You don't even ask, how are we eating? This is what, yesterday we went to the store and this young man comes up to the window. He says, I want to get something out the store. I said, boy, go home. I'm sick of it. Go home. Go tell your mama you want something from the store.
Because it sounds cold, right? But it's you have to experience it. It sounds cold, but it's not. It's not that, because I've done it. I watched from beginning all the way through, right? And I'm here in the midst of a bunch of other individuals, right? And I can tell you're zeroing in on me because you know that I'm from a certain place and you think that I have money. So my thought is, I'm never acting on it, but my thought was, why didn't you ask that person there who clearly is a local? Why would you not ask that person that you walk right by?
We're all in the
that
store.
Person. We're all in the store.
Obviously, we're all shopping.
So why would you zero in on me? So that's the part that becomes hurtful, because it's what you can get from me, as opposed. But I'm thinking is, brother, hey, let's build. Let's connect. We don't mind if we have able to assist and to help, but see me. So it becomes, in a different vein, more of the same, right?
And the effect of it is, we come and we're like happy little puppies. We're so excited. We want to help everybody. We just love black people. 2 years later, they done pulled out my northern side of me that I have forgot about. I'm hard. I'm gotta give you the crazy stares. Like, don't come over here asking me for nothing.
I'm like, oh, here she comes. Like, here
what?
she go. I already
Man,
know she's like, she at that point.
I'm
like,
done. We trying to figure out how to keep the lights on. You coming over here talking about you need. Why is that my responsibility? And they'll stare at you.
It won't stop.
Until you literally got to be like that. That's how I be feeling. Like, go somewhere. It's cold and it's crazy.
Because I think
sometimes it just brings it out of you like that.
I think a lot of it is because they don't. Again, it goes back to what they have in their minds and what they've been given, and I can't say this. I just this is just my assumption is that they have in their minds that literally every person that comes from America has money. So that if I'm telling you, brother, sister, I don't have it to give you, I'm sorry, that they don't believe you. They don't believe you.
Yeah, they just say, what the boy said yesterday, you said we don't have money. The boy said,
he said, God.
On the momo.
He said, then he said, God's going to give it to you. I said, well, if he's going to give it to me, he might as well just give it to you. Give it to you. Anyway. Yeah. So, but these are the things. This is the thing. This is the experience of being black, okay? Being black, coming to Black Africa, and having a certain expectation that may not be met altogether, right? And how do you deal with it? You know, what is then now your responsibility, okay? If there is a responsibility, but the responsibility is first and foremost to yourself. And coming to the realization that, okay, all right, this is more than just taking a plane flight, landing here and living. No, the journey continues. The journey continues. And so Africa, this is how I say it. Africa is not a place. It is a place, of course, but it's not a place. Africa is a consciousness. Africa is an idea, right? And I think that this is what we're trying to achieve. That's the destination. The consciousness, the idea of being a people, of oneness that has, you know, a culture that expresses itself according to the nature of who we are, you know, as a loving people, you know, as a sharing, giving people, as a dancing, singing people, right? As an intellectual people. That's the destination. And even Africa is not there yet. It's not there, right? And I say yet because of all of the raping that had taken place. It has to regain itself. It has to get back what it once was. Or had it actually arrived as we thought once upon a time. Maybe it never even got there yet. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
It reminds me of, I was watching one of Buddha Maya's videos today in Uganda. He's on the boat and he's loving being out on the boat, and he says, just out of nowhere, he says, after, what did I say?
Oh, yeah.
He said, after we done come from,
just paraphrasing.
Paraphrasing, like, colonization is supposed to be over. Why are we still have these lakes called Victoria?
These European
these
colonizer names, I would say. You know,
like Lake Victoria. Why do we still honor them?
Like she created it. Like she, you know.
Like she's worthy of honor after what they've done in this country.
Come on.
And like, why did you come here? The purpose that you've had to come here in the first place was to seek and destroy and conquer. Mm-hmm. But we still honor them with the names like Lake Victoria, and you'll look at some of the the court systems in some of these countries, and they're still wearing the big white British hair. The collar. We like, what the? We take that. Man, you go to places.
No disrespect, but hey,
some of these countries, Ghana and some other places, you see the big white Jesus on the cross. in these countries. What? And so we're trying to understand.
It's the mind. That's the thing.
It's the mind.
Africa is a consciousness. It's the best way that I can put it and come up with. It's not just being on the soil, right? It's not. It's more than that. It's more than that, right? And I think that once we get that understanding, even of Africans, man, once we get that understanding, then I think that we will begin to see one another a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
We will begin to interact with one another differently. There's an awakening taking place. A shift is, if y'all pay attention to the news, but we're not gonna go into that right now.
Yeah,
but
I told a long time ago. I told one of our employees. I said, boy, I'm more African than you. He's like, no. I said, yes, trust me, I'm more African than you.
Yeah.
And it's different.
It's different.
So depending on where you are mentally, spiritually, even financially, will determine the outcome of your experience when you hit the continent.
Yeah.
So those things you have to keep in mind and be prepared for. Otherwise, get a round trip ticket. Because you're going to be gone. You're going to, and you cannot come here comparing everything to where you came from.
No, you might as well just stay.
Just forget about it. Because you'll be totally let down.
You will.
Stuff do not operate here like it does from where you come from. No. And that's just
what it is.
That's just what it is. It's not, that's not making it polite. We can get real raw with it on another video, but this not America. The cars is different, the sounds are different, the views are different, the food is different, the TV is different. We don't have cable here. We don't have 700,000 channels here. We do got Prime, but experiences all the way around is different.
It's different,
and so you got to really know yourself. You have the stamina and the patience to really make that investment in your life, to change it and to come to another country.
Because you're literally changing your life.
You're changing your life.
You really are changing your life. And so, well, we could probably go on for days. We might have to do a series of this here, but for now.
But we need you guys to leave us comments.
Yeah, leave us comments, man.
How do you feel about what we're talking about? What would you like to know more of? Do you agree? Even if you disagree.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just be respectful with it. Some people got the blocky block because they start acting crazy. And I'm a northern girl here in Africa now. My energy is like, cut you. I can't even deal with it. So,
but yeah, exactly. Please leave comments because we not, of course, goes without saying. We ain't perfect. Our experiences are not perfect. Our decisions are not perfect. We learning this thing as we go. We're just exactly. We're just trying this thing.
That's our life. We're just trying.
We're just trying, and we living though, right? That's the thing. And we're living this unpredictability. You have things that take place and occur that you're not expecting to happen. You just got to snap back. You got to deal with it. So we want to though be real. We want to be authentic in our sharing of our experience, and we want to be, if we're going too far to the left, bring us back. Help us, give balance, whatever it is. But if it's something that we've given and we've shared that's been helpful and enlightening, alhamdulillah, all right? Give thanks to the Most High. That's for you, right? And hopefully you can utilize it and it be of benefit to you. So please comment. We're not trying to be preachy or none of that stuff there. We just want to share with you what we're learning from our experience. That's the key thing. Learning from the experience, and hopefully it will it will benefit us, and hopefully it'll benefit someone else as well. So until next time, thank you so very much for again allowing us a moment to share of our experience with you. Thank you for your viewership. Thank you for your subscription. If you're looking at this and you have not subscribed, if we're worthy of your subscription, please hit the subscribe button. If you like anything that was said, please like, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend by sharing, so that we can try to bring you more content of our experience. And man, let's just keep on moving. So with that said, we out. Peace and blessings.